prepaid call from an inmate at the Virginia Department of Corrections, Red Onion State Prison. To accept this call, press 0.
This is Red Onion Randy, and welcome to my podcast. Thank you for dropping by and spending a little bit of time with me. I do appreciate it. A couple episodes ago, I told you about my day, what it's like, what a typical day for me is like. This episode, I'm going to talk about the nighttime. The nights are the hardest, without question. That's when your emotions hit you a lot. Especially if you were married or you had a girlfriend, you're used to sleeping with someone in the bed with you. If anything like that, it's just, being away from family, being away from friends, and being on the streets and, just having some control over your life. And here you don't have that. Sleep is an extremely difficult thing in prison to do. You lay there for hours waiting to fall asleep. Your mind it won't let you go to sleep for nothing. It just runs 1,000 miles an hour over and over and over again. Replay your past. You replay, man, what if I would have done this different? Or what if I would have never met this person? Or what if I would have met this person? How would my life be? You lay there and you just think about these things. And that's why so many people in prison, they go to the psychiatrist. They go to the QMHP, which is shorthand for qualified mental health professional. They will get them to prescribe medication, mental health medication, because a lot of that mental health medication zones you out. It'll make you sleep. And, that's why you see so many guys in prison on medication, because you can't sleep. It is extraordinarily difficult to sleep. The first thing is you got that bright light. At 10 o'clock, they'll cut the main light off, but you still got this little baby small fluorescent light that's still very, very bright. So there's no switch in the cell for the lights. The lights are controlled in the booth. From 5:45 a.m. in the morning until 10 o'clock p.m. at night, you've got the bright fluorescence. And from 10 to 5:45 in the morning, they got a night light on. You can easily read by it. You got different techniques. Some people will take soap and they'll shave it down, pour water into it, make it into a paste, and spread it over it. Me personally, I usually just take like Vaseline and just get a good big glob of it and then smear it all over it. That'll help cut it down. And I'd take coffee, pour it on a sponge, and then I would take the sponge and wipe the white walls down and stain them brown. That'll darken the cell up a lot too. The main thing is it cuts the glare off of the walls, because this is the reason why people in prison have so many eye problems. It's basically like snow blindness. Everybody, for the most part, wraps a T-shirt or a towel or something around their eyes. Me, I got an orange skull cap or toboggan, and I pull it down over my eyes, and then I have a gray thermal boot sock, and I just folded the ends over, and I sewed it together, and I pulled that down over top, and that's what I use to help block out noise and to help block out the light. You sleep on a very thin mattress that's uncomfortable. You can feel the steel or the concrete underneath of you. I mean, when you lay on it, your hip basically sinks right through it. It's either too cold or it's too hot in the cell. It's never a good temperature, conducive to good sleep. It's loud. If you have the COs, when they make rounds, they always grab the door handles and they'll yank on the door to make sure the door is still secure, that you haven't opened it somehow. Which, you've already done it 20 times. Why do you keep doing it all night long? That really pisses me off. Because, they come by, you touch the door, I wake up. Then, they'll be going in, in and out the pod with the doors opening and closing. Or you'll have some COs, yelling across the pod to the guy in the booth, laughing and joking and holding the conversation while the CO is making rounds to check to make sure nobody's escaped or hung themselves or anything of that nature. And it's just, you don't sleep in here. You don't sleep. You got the inmates. You got some inmates that stay up all night and they want to act like it's, especially when you're in solitary, because they're safe. Can't nobody get their hands on them. And you have some dudes that absolutely refuse to leave solitary confinement because they've pissed so many people off. If they ever step foot on the yard, they ever step foot in population, somebody going to smash them. So you'll have them dudes that are scared to death, and so they'll sit back and they run their mouth and they so gangster and they this and that, but they're hiding behind that door, eating and banging, and they'll take it, they'll knock on the toilet. They just make so much freaking noise. Everything is concrete and steel in here. So the slightest little bit just reverberates. You ever been in a canyon or like a really, really big building and you hello, 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 and it just echoes over and over again? Every little noise in prison does that. You'd think they would put some like sound absorbent material along the roof and the walls and whatnot to help combat that, but no, they don't. So between the mattress, between either being too cold or being too hot, the light on 24/7, and the noise, it's just, you don't sleep. And so you lay there and your mind wanders over and over again down the past. And then you get to where that becomes a habit. And you don't sleep. It takes me hours to fall asleep. So basically, in a nutshell, everybody in here is cranky, sleep deprived, and pissed off on pretty much constant basis. And I understand that, the state is never going to spend the money to buy really good mattresses. Okay, but what about giving us the option to buy one for ourselves? If we want like double mattresses to where it's more comfortable, let us buy that. Why not? Let us buy our own sheets. Let us buy our own blankets, our own pillowcases, our own towels and washcloths. That just saves the state money. Let us buy the good stuff. There's guys in here who will buy that. There's guys in here who will save up to buy that kind of stuff just because sleep is that important. Yeah, it's a very frustrating topic for us in here. Nobody is morning person. Nobody in prison is a morning person. You have somebody come out all chipper and happy, guaranteed he's going to get cussed out from at least 5 or 6 people. He's going to walk away offended as hell. He looked like somebody stepped on a cat's tail. And that's just the way it is in prison. You don't sleep in here. You're tired most of the times. You get naps whenever you can. You sleep whenever you can. Or you start taking medication and you turn yourself into a zombie. Now, those are the only 2 options you have in here. My friend Jooyeon, who does the musical interludes for my podcast, she created something for me so I could sleep, so I could play it in my mind. And she played it to me over the phone, and I enjoyed it. I liked it. And I hope you enjoyed it. This has been Red Onion Randy. I hope you enjoyed listening to me. Please check out my website, redonionrandy.com. And if you like what you heard, I would really appreciate you giving me 5 stars and recommending me to family and friends. Thank you for listening. Take care and stay safe.
Thank you for using GTL.